Always my soulmate. By Watermelon's Melon Felon. Chapter 12. Seeking. Come on, Yuri, just let me see. Yuri absolutely refused to come out of the hot water, no matter how much Victor begged. On the other side of the onsen, Yuri was rolling his eyes. Victor's antics were too much sometimes. You're embarrassed by your soulmark? Victor asked, pouted please. Yuri glared, making sure that his frustration was clear, unable to help himself. I'm not embarrassed by the mark itself. It's where it's located that bothers me, which is why I'm not showing you. Victor was still confused, but Yuri could tell that Yurio got it immediately. The teen raised a hand and said in a disgusted tone, "Keep it to yourself, piggy." Victor murmured, looking back and forth between them. A light of understanding entered his blue gaze, and he beamed at Yuri. Is it a secret place? He asked, voice practically caressing the words. Yuri flushed morbidly and sank further into the water, wanting it to swallow him up and never spit him back out. Come on, Yuri! Victor prompted, grabbing his wet arm and pulling him up. A tingle trailed up his skin, and he could feel something warm and soft, almost like fingers, trailing directly over his pubic bone and up his stomach, up his chest, and along his right arm. Victor did not miss the very sudden trail of white flowers flowing across Yuri's skin in order to gather under his hand that was still connected to Yuri's elbow. Victor's blue eyes went wide immediately, and a slow grin worked its way onto his face. He took up Yuri's other hand and placed it on the center of his chest. Slowly, ever so slowly, a small trail of red bleeding hearts flowed over Victor's shoulders and traveled down to gather beneath Yuri's now warm hand. Ah, good! Yurio hissed, breaking them from their little bubble. The blonde was standing and making his way toward the stairs. I better not hear you two making out, or I will tell everyone. Yuri looked away, his face completely flushed in embarrassment. Not the best of places to discover your soulmate, or the best of situations, really. Victor seemed pleased, though. His heavy-lidded eyes fixed themselves onto Yuri's shivering form the moment Yurio was gone. So where exactly were the Edelweiss placed that was so embarrassing for you? It took a second to realize that Edelweiss was the name of the flowers that had been... Yuri looked very steadily at a large boulder in the distance, finding comfort in its stationary existence. They were wrapped around my... Victor shifted to the side, cutting off Yuri's line of sight and forcing him to make eye contact again. Victor's hand released Yuri's, but Yuri refused to be the first one to pull away, so his own hand remained firmly in place on Victor's warm and sculpted chest. His stubbornness won out. That pale hand curled under Yuri's chin, bringing Yuri's face even closer to Victor's. I'm afraid I don't know. The Russian purred, a delighted look in his eyes. The butterflies in Yuri's stomach leapt at that look, a look that had never been sent Yuri's way before. Yuri fidgeted. They were down there. Down where, Yuri? Annoyed with the teasing, Yuri sent Victor a frustrated glare and said matter-of-factly, Around my cock, Victor. My cock was covered in flowers. He had expected to be made fun of. He wasn't expecting Victor to release his arm suddenly and dip his hand in the water in order to wrap it around that. Yuri squeaked, feeling how soft Victor's hand was. They were wrapped around these, yes? Asked Victor, voice rough with his thick accent. Biting his lip, Yuri nodded shyly, trying to look anywhere but where Victor wanted him to look. I think we should take care of this, Yuri, Flustered and completely shocked over the events of the past few minutes, Yuri conceded with a nod. Perfect! The groan that slipped past his lips was inappropriate and made him blush even more. His secret pleasure. Whenever Victor's smooth voice so much as aimed a compliment in his direction. Judging by the look of the other man's eye, he understood exactly what had just happened. Yuri, would you like me to take care of you? He was giving Yuri the chance to step aside to stop it, though Victor's hand was currently wrapped snugly around his cock, and it felt too nice to pass up. And how many times had he dreamed of Victor in such a state before? He gave a shy nod and was surprised, but Victor mostly pulled away. I think we'll be more comfortable in a maid. Don't you agree, Yuri? The brunette nodded, a little lightheaded. He was promptly pulled from the onset.